Three, two, one. Hopefully it's time for some fun. Sup, buckaroos? Welcome to the Anarchy analysis VOD review series today. We got JDG, we've got Golden Guardians. I'm choking already. We're off to a great start. Now, don't know how or what we're gonna see here, but let's skip to the intro for this best of 5. Whenever Flowers introduces something like that, you just, at the start that, I was confused about who it was, but then as soon as he started to speak more and more, it became obvious it was Flowers. But like, the intro here to this game, already, we're going to be looking at a very hyped up matchup with North America's best caster. Technically, the only caster for play-by-play at this tournament. And so, as a whole, we get to discuss and listen to some good tones from North America, as this could be the best chance to make it through to a final. Dagda is on the caster desk with Azael. That's quite huge. But Dagda, realistically speaking, is the only LPL analyst, technically, in this tournament. I mean, was Lyric in this game? This tournament? I don't remember. But at draft so far, JDG removing Cassante, Kennen, Ari. I'm surprised it's a blue side Kennen ban, to be honest. But GG removing out Annie, Nidalee, Aphelios maybe would be a good third ban. But since they're going to be Vi, that also makes some sense. But again, Aphelios, Lucian, Nami, Maokai going to be the pickup for JDG. And GG already hovering the Aphelios. I like this. Stixay pops off on this pick. He pops off on Jinx as well. But this series, you have to figure, is going to be one-sided. So these Golden Guardians drafts need to come out with a lot of expression. They need to look and want to win, go for comfort in some regards. Maokai is a weird champion to be counter-picking for, because you, realistically speaking, have to match him with frontline to be able to deal with his Nature's Grasp. But there you go. Sedge is in. And it's actually interesting because Sedge with Aphelios, the stacks you get to put down are quite huge, as JDG just to getting power picks all across the board. This is looking like a very strong draft for them. And you look at this Jace, flexibility obviously to the top side and to mid. There could also be a Tristana come through to increase JDG's flexibility in terms of their draft. But Jinx wouldn't. Actually, maybe not. Tristana becomes less impactful. But Nautilus is a good pickup here for Golden Guardians. You've technically now got a flex between support and mid. And so JDG's second round bans are going to be quite all over the place. Now, I could see JDG removing the LeBlanc, removing the Lysandra from the pool, as Gory has defaulted to them during this tournament when he's unable to get his hands on the Cassante. Silas, though, going to be JDG's first ban, as Lulu gets taken away by the Golden Guardians. Now, Renata, yeah, that makes sense. I was going to say that. But Renata, essentially paired up with Jinx, is a very kill-hungry lane. Because once Jinx gets excited, the movement speed the bailout gives, as well as just the aggressive nature of that spell, because you can continue to press forward and try and get kills. And so I love this ban out from the Golden Guardians. Yone, I guess, is intriguing, but Gory has played it and is a very good player on that champ, so I like this ban from JDG, but Licorice getting tanks. Give this man a tank, he's gonna do fine. Now, relatively speaking, 369 is a heavy carry player, but he can default to tanks. But if that Gwen gets locked in, he's gonna be trying to snip through the health bars of Golden Guardians. And on top of that, once that gets locked in, JDG's draft will be revealed. We'll know where the Jaces are going to end up. And technically, Jace is going into mid. So, Golden Guardian's going to get a counter pick onto that role. Jace, you definitely need to take some range into him. So, I'm kind of thinking Syndra for Gory. Just so you can kind of burst out, not allow. That's Jax mid. No, it's Sion mid. Never mind. Wow. That actually makes sense. So, Gory does play tanks. He's obviously known for that Cassante, but Jace into Sion is a top lane matchup we've seen quite a bit. I believe that Jace will win that out, but I think the way that Golden Guardians have kind of pivoted away from Sion being top forced the Gwen, a carry top, out from JDG. They've actually just basically made their draft really unpredictable, and I don't know if JDG were prepared for it. Obviously, they could have been scrimming against one another and seen how they want to play. But that was Trevor's wife. Quick shot. Oh, yikes. But here we go. We're going to go into this. I think everyone needs it. So many good signs. This is actually really funny because you got British people as level 1 play from Golden Guardians trying to catch 369 out. Is not going to amount to anything, but we're going to take a look in at the ruins and also items right now. Never mind, we're just seeing a level 1 play. Sion just going to dissuade any aggression out from either team. Gold already picked up for the Maokai. I don't know. Don't know if that's any importance, but looking at the runes, fleet footwork on the Aphelios, not going to be going for that Conqueror. Means he is able to get a bit more sustain in some regards during the laning phase or initial poke down onto the Jinx. So this is quite a bit of a change up. As lethal tempo is on the other side, first strike Maokai, it's not going to be that bulkier build. going to be investing into AP damage, so Demonic Embrace and other items along that line is going to be picked up by Knavi. So, also taking a look down across the items, Culls in the bot lane, I need to point that out, so expect the scaling. Golden Guardians have been doing this all tournament, is getting a Cull and then just outscaling as a good hook. It won't end up in a kill because Braum is very tanky level 1. And while he does force you low with the Qs and poking you down, you have to realize Braum level 1 has a lot more threat in getting kills than what Nautilus does. Actually, no, that might be a lie. Well, into this matchup he does, I should say. Nautilus probably has a very good level 1 in comparison to a lot of supports, but that's just because of his passive roots and Q. He's basically got all of Blitz's abilities. Well, Blitz's E and Q in one combo. So, as we pan across the lanes, we're seeing mid lane pushing out in favor of JDG, although Sion is making it quite even. Top side, Licorice getting aggressive into 369. Obviously, sustainability comes from the Gwen very easily. 369 probably don't understand that he's in danger. And there you go. Now he's spotted. Maokai is gonna back away from the Scuttle Crab. Just gonna trade bot side. As, you know, Ruler and Missing a very strong bot lane. You're gonna want to keep them in this game and ahead. So I like this movement from Knave to just give a bit more safety down there. And you're also not risking your own life by trading into the Sedge. First items coming through, or components coming through for the jungle. It's going to be Ruby, Crystal, and Boot, as the gank is spotted technically, but Missing isn't going to burn summoners here. And in fact, JDG just going to accept the wave, going to probably get pushed into them. This is how Golden Guardians are basically going to use that sedge pressure to try and push the wave out and get a crash into the turret. But because Knave showed on that ward, it means they can't step up and force the push. And as such, they're just going to take a recall in a bad position, as the wave is just going to slowly push into them. Now, what I will say is if we look at the summoners, both ADCs have Ghost. And that's a bit surprising, honestly, from Ruler. As we've known, basically... But we've known that ADCs like to have Ghosts as this aggressive trade into you. But looking at the stuns and capabilities of Golden Guardians here, you've got the Counter-Strike, you've got all of the Sedge, basically, spells able to stack up and do work that way. Gravitum, you've also got Nautilus's abilities and Sion's abilities. Sion's are knockups, don't get me wrong, but the fact is, they stun you and cleanse helps in that regard. I would have preferred a cleanse out from Ruler in this game. As for Aphelios, I mean, it's a little less impactful, as you'd only be cleansing out Maokai, Braum, and Jinx sort of spells. So that's yeah. The autos stack up, and Stixay's dead. So what happened? So clearly Stixay is just clearing out, well, clearing out the wave, and could be very far forward. But who he was in River when that happened, or in the River, not in River, because River's actually someone in this game. But and saying he was in River really isn't a good. It's funny, but it isn't a good way to say it. Anyway. I just noticed something. There's a huge CS lead being formed in the bot lane. So we watch this again. Stixay is very far up in lane. Oh, so a great hop on the minion just gets him into Q range. And easy kill. Great play from Missing to land that down, and Jinx able to follow it up. And realizing that you made a mistake is a issue if you're Stixay. What I will say though is the response with the Drake is a good way to kind of keep yourself in this game. Obviously, Drake stacking does allow you to perform better as the game goes on. And with how these two teams are setting up their draft, later into the game, you have to realize that the damage out from both teams will go up, but the bulkiness of that Scion in the mid lane already gone for a Bramble Vest. Bit of a shock in terms of items I would pick up, like, for your first buy, because I would still assume Jack Shao or Heartsteel would be a good first buy instead of Bramble Vest. But looking at his opponent, the Jace doesn't really build too much as a great hook. Catch Ruler. And there's the trade back. I'm intrigued why he's gone Bramble Vest first. It doesn't really make much sense to me. I'm doing an LS moment, let's be honest. But, yeah, Gory going that. There isn't any lifesteal yet. Maybe in the ruins of the Jace there is some. Jinx there is some. It's going to be annoying when you've got both Jace and Jinx in the game, because I always get their names mixed up. But, yeah. It's odd. I mean, it means you save time later in the game, but you hit your mythic power spike later. And I think with how Scion is, you'd prefer to get your mythic, like, early. As you can just get the mythic bonuses stacked up in your favor and have a bit more tankiness. Because let's be honest, Jack Shao gives you the tank stats. Licorice is in range to just jump on him. Great work. That's a kill. Stun comes through. And Licorice is on the board. That's a great play from them. Herald into gank. Does mean, though, that Ruler gets to freely freeze the wave / deny CS away from Stixay. Because counter side's weak side, baby. And yeah, that just means that this Cull gets him stacked up pretty quick. As Nautilus is going to come through, depth charge going to be thrown out as well. That's also going to be that's a kill. Clutch play from Golden Guardians there. And you have to realize River is on a tear. A great roam down. Herald's dropped. Stixay is actually going to benefit so much off this. Going to definitely get some turret plating here. It's a 3v2. They're now having to back away as the roam comes out from the Jace. He is down. Rocket is going to land. Ooh, that's a lot of damage. So, 1-for-1 trade, but Herald gets dropped in turret plating. That is worth for Golden Guardians. Ooh, I've just noticed something quite big. Is Nautilus has got Merc Treads. It's an intriguing buy, considering Sion's gone steel toe caps. And yeah, I think maybe a misplay out from Huhi here. You go for the, in this game where you're going to be facing up against the Jinx the majority of the time, and you're aiming to hook her. The only real AP damage out from JDG is in the top lane and jungle. And more than likely, Gwen's going to want to try and side lane, so you don't, I don't think you will be there near her most of the time. Whereas here, you're constantly going to have to deal with Ruler. I mean, yeah, he can be split pushing like he does, but I personally think it's a misbuy. He played smart there, tanking the Nature's Grasp so his team can get away. Now, originally I thought the cool stacks were going to be a lot bigger in terms of differential, but the engage, the Sion choo-choo train goes onto the Braum. Q forces a flash out from Maokai, but the re-engage, the Braum goes forward, he's going to get a lot of damage down to Rocket. Coming from behind, Ruler is here, he's getting excited. Felio's going to get another one, but he is down. The carries on JDG's side are alive. And that is a one fight for JDG. So, what I will say is, Ruler fully stacked his cull. So he got a lot of extra items. He took it back before this fight. And is on his roam up now. This is the interesting bit. So Sion gets blocked by Braum. So he is basically hitting nothing there, Gory. Now, Ruler just fires a great choke point ult. He gets close, gets the fire in. He's excited, doing damage. He's just constant focusing Stixxay. And he gets bursted out by Ruler and Knight. So yeah, great fight coming out from JDG as Ruler just sweeps through the health bars. Simple as. Now we've got Drake being traded over to JDG. They're gonna stop the stack that Golden Guardians were going for. But that gold graph, quite interesting to say the least, as this is probably the closest game one of the bracket stage we've seen. Let's be honest, every other one has just been a blowout. Now, the culls are completed, and the mid lane becomes the ADC heaven as NA Ram seems to be a calling. As Herald probably going to go over to JDG. You can't contest Ruler at this point in time, as he's just quite fed. Surprisingly, that Jinx does still a lot of damage. Herald's dropped. They're gonna crash this into the mid-tier one. Gonna guarantee damage. I'm watching the flank position from River. He could get in, but Braum just is always in the right position. Nature's Grasp also gonna dissuade. They're just trying to kill the Braum. That's the wrong target, my friend. You got a big jinx. And oh, Stixay gets hit by a absolute bomb of a Q from the Jace. The Shock Blast. That's its name. I remember its name. I'm so good. But yeah, let's be honest, this game, it's slowly becoming a massive snowball. Because Ruler is very fed. Gonna go Hurricane second. Is he's able then to just continue to be a menace in teamfights, hitting everyone as they group up. In that last fight, if he had Hurricane, he almost certainly would have got a lot of kills as this fight. It feels like Missing and Nave are just tanking all the engage from Golden Guardians. Good trade, as the top laners both die. It's tempo. They've caught Stixay. Now everyone dies because the damage dealer from Golden Guardians is dead. This is the issue with these sorts of comps from Golden Guardians. And you have to think about how they play. If they do this sort of triple bruiser top, there's realistically no damage. And more importantly, this game there's no AP damage on Golden Guardian side of Rift. So, Braum has a field day as a support. He's able to just survive, get in, use his spells effectively to just negate what Golden Guardians want to do in a fight. And that's kind of interesting because every fight it feels like Golden Guardians are trying to target him. It's the wrong target. Yeah, that's the thing. Missing is getting in positions that forces him to get hit. He's bulky. He don't do damage. As that fight is so great because Ruler wasn't involved.
And the important thing here is Ruler's at 0 because he wasn't even there. That entire sequence was JDG making a 4v5 play overall.
This is starting to feel like a draft diff from game one for game one here. I wasn't thinking about damage output from Golden Guardians until this point. Is Licorice dead? Don't give the... So, that's a misplay out from Licorice. I'm just going to check to see if Knight put any damage down onto him. Yeah, that's a misplay. Do you want to know why? Firstly, you've now given more gold over to JDG because you've given over assist gold. Gold that wouldn't have existed if Knight wasn't the one getting the kill. Furthermore, Knight's on a rampage, meaning he's able to do a lot more damage now. Oh god, that's a misplay from Licorice and a half. I'm intrigued how he took turret aggro, but he does, and gives over a kill. This is just routine. So JDG just gonna essentially they're always gonna make a collapse move down to the bot side because they want to just get this Drake and stack it up. It's kind of surprising that Licorice is in that position. Because now that he's no longer alive, you lose the tier 2 bot and just lose the Drake. It's a lot of bot play now coming out from JDG because they play so effective. It feels like every single goddamn West versus East series so far has highlighted the inabilities from our regions to make cross maps every single time there's a play from the other team. And so it's less Europe and Natch are reactive in a sense, but JDG, every team so far we've seen have been proactive from the East. T1 Gen G just constantly harassed and poked and prodded you, and I'm kind of sad BDS aren't at this tournament because that's how they play. I wish they were here, man. It would have been so much better than Mad, unfortunately. Now, yeah, as Azale is saying it, Ocean Rift. It would be so good for Golden Guardians with the bruisery frontline, but it's so impactful for the Maokai. The guy that's basically the frontline for JDG, he's able to use that full AP build to its full advantage by getting the extra sustain from that Drake. I would have honestly preferred, well, I like that as a, now that you're getting caught out, he isn't that strong yet, and finally they kill off Missing. Oh! The damage! How did that even land? Now that GG forced away, Stixay is in base. There's no damage on Gungan's side without Stixay. Not gonna steal it and gives over a kill. Golden Guardians are falling behind the tempo. You're dead. As soon as Missing gets on top of you, you're dead. JDG could honestly look to win off this push. The seam's over. They're pushing for the game. Because you wouldn't have TP'd back in if you weren't looking to win the game here. Felios is finally back up, but he isn't able to get in. He's not doing any damage. He's finally getting damage down, but he's on his fountain. The front line for Golden Guardians crumble. And that's it. Game over. So game one seemed like a ruler death. How does game two shape up?
Welcome back, everyone, to MSI 2023 and our best of 5.
I'm gonna get into draft.
Golden Guardians goes to deal the damage. Unfortunately, in this previous game, Missing just getting so far ahead early. Stixay being set behind. The rest of the team, like you talked about, Isaac, not blocking for the Aphelios.
We'll see which side each team have gone to here for this game. I hope Golden Guardians go to blue. And they have. Good. Now we get to see if JDG rotate up their bans. So far, look pretty much the same on either side. Will they be the ones to ban the Vi as Aphelios removed by Golden Guardians? Zyra is up. There's also Jinx. They're going to ban the Maokai, so Vi should be first pick priority for Golden Guardians. Instead, they're actually going to go for their Cassante. That's actually surprising, because that flex from Golden Guardians is available. I would expect here a big pick is Lulu, actually prioritized by JDG. Vi is up on the board though, and I could honestly see that if Golden Guardians or JDG let that through for the Golden Guardians, it should get snapped up very quickly. But that Zeri is being hovered. They're locking it in. There's still Vi. They're really throwing the gauntlet down here at Golden Guardians. They're saying, play it. Do it. You can't play it as good as we can play these champions. I really hope Golden Guardians lock in the Vi and accept the gauntlet, because you get this lockup. Tristana, though. It's still a flex. They have a lot of flexibility with their draft. I don't want that locked in. Get the Vi. Seriously, get the Vi locked in here, Golden Guardians. Please, lock it in. Well, JDG are just going to lock the Vi in here. You can do that. You've been given the pick that counters your Zeri. What? They might not even pick it. They can ban it out. What? This draft. What? Greg is ban? Vi? Please? Gimme? Ban for the Vi? If it makes it through the ban phase, I'm gonna be so surprised. Syndra gets removed from Golden Guardians. We should probably get back to not being perplexed by NA drafts, man. But, yeah, I get why Syndra's banned out here, but I could still see Knight playing like a Galio in this situation, or a AP, like, Lissandra's still technically up, and Vi hasn't even been banned. I'm done. This is certainly one of those series where I wish I had my webcam on. Because my reactions to this Big Bad phase is so what? It doesn't make sense. It does not make sense. So this should be Vi. It should be Vi. It is. It's finally been logged in. Oh. What? Yeah, Lissandra. I expected that. Very good into LeBlanc, all things considered. The champion can just lock her down when she's trying to distort forward. Once she gets on top of you, you just pop your stuns, as I say. You've also now got a Rel paired alongside it, so you can just essentially target out distortion marks whenever by both these champions. And on top of it, you both have point-click CC. Rel remount is a knock-up. It's still very strong on this Golden Guardian side of Rift. What I will say is, you have more damage this game if you're Golden Guardians. And so, you're going to be able to deal with JDG a little bit better, as they're not going to be able to probably just kill a carry and feel fine. As Rel makes a bit of a difference to how they want to play. Plus, Missing has gone from tank defensive duty onto Enchanter support my carry to get him ahead. Please. I hate these signs. Sometimes they're funny. Oh god. That's funny. What? That's a dick stay. Or Daise. I don't know. It depends how you read it. Oh, that's it. That's a TS. Oh, River. Seems to be using that one every game. But here we go. Crowd getting excited for the LPL. I'm getting excited for an absolute banger of a game. And looking at these ruins. What? It is Summoner Area Lissandra and not Unsealed Spellbook. I've got used to seeing Unsealed Spellbook on her. As for JDG, Fleet Footwork topside, you're going to want to try and punish in the Cassante. I mean, First Strike honestly would have been interesting to see on the Conqueror also. But it's a lot of standard in terms of the actual room pages. So I'm kind of used to it. Anyway. Let's take a look at items. Cool start for the Zeri. And so this leads me to believe Ruler is the type of guy to always pick up a cool no matter what the champion he plays. And so in this game, we're going to probably see him just balloon to success. I'm intrigued to see if we'll see River make his presence known bot, because his pathing is towards topside for this initial round of camps. It's the same story though for the Kanabe, who is also on that same rotation. I will say that the Vi, obviously, will be a little slower to reaching her top half of the map. And in fact, she isn't going there. She's looking to go from mid. Mid gank always a possibility as Knight gets a good ward down. Obviously, fainted up to the top side. Does give hints that Gnave is up there. But River gets to walk straight back to his top side. Gave a bit of tempo up to do that little play, in a sense. So, as this game starts to reach a standard point, we're going to be seeing probably good use of the Frozen Path. But looking at how these two teams want to play the game, we're definitely seeing... Oh, that's Flash's burnt mid. Basically, if that chain landed, Wukong would have come in and locked up and killed Gory. But that's a good trade from Gory to stay alive, essentially. Now, what I will say is, as this game goes on, I'm intrigued to see Because you can actually say the amount of damage that Golden Guardians can do is a lot more than Game 1. They've got a lot more team fight utility. And what I mean by that is you trade out in Game 1 the Sion ult and all his kit there. Yes, you've lost a bruisery frontline, but you've kind of melded that into the Jax from Game 1 as well with Cassante, because you build bulky, but you do tons of damage. So I like this from Golden Guardians to make their draft a little bit more interesting. Jeez, Ruler already getting a plate. This is a surprise. Because you think about how this draft is. Zeri really needs to be kept in line, as Ruler already is stacking up to scale hard with the eco, with the cool. But like getting turret plating, he's on his second reset, which is huge. Able to stock up on a control ward and get that noon quiver. He's very strong here. And what I will say is Missing kind of has been left to soak up the XP, as Ruler has essentially been taking these backs. But Missing has done a really good job to keep the wave in a good position for his ADC. Because look where it is right now. Frozen in front of the JDG turret. It's very good in that sense for them, because they can just keep it in a position that basically kind of puts Golden Guardians in a threatened position. Now, bot side, it's now being pushed back in, as Ruler and Stixay have been left on their own in the bot lane. And due to that, you realize that obviously in isolation, Ruler's going to win out on that matchup, as Missing gets over the wall in the face of Stixay, jumping forward. That's also the heal burnt, but here comes the Golden Guardians, 3 members down here in the bot lane, as 4 members, never mind. He's just taking chip damage, as All Out comes out from Licorice. He's looking to kill off Gnar and gets the first blood. 369 falls. Bot side though, the dive comes through, the crash down comes through as well. Zeri is locked up, bursting out under turret. She is down. Ruler is no more. Wukong is next in the eyes of the Golden Guardians. Gonna try and trade one back, but Rel remounts and Stixay gets another. Great play coming out from the Golden Guardians here across the map. Wow. I'm cracking one open because, wow. So essentially he waits for Meganar to time out, gets his Q stacks down, All Out, just a lot of damage, the flash through as well, secures the kill, and 369 has to take a long walk back. This bot lane play, Ruler just uses his ult, and so essentially who he assumes, Ruler's going to tank turret shot aggro because he pops the ultimate on top of all of Golden Guardians. In fact, let's see what lands first. Oh, so essentially what Golden Guardians think will happen is, as Ruler, you at this point realize Ruler is ulting, so you assume he's going to tank turret aggro, especially with the polymorph. Actually, polymorph. As soon as Stixay's polymorphed, you'll know Lulu's tanking. So you realize she's going to have to step out of turret aggro if we are to kind of if they want to basically make a successful dive without having to trade. So, smartly, Huhi crashes down onto Ruler. Obviously, main damage, you don't want him to be doing anything. And what's more, you put yourself in a position where you can block out the Wukong from getting in on your carry. I like this from Huhi as a whole. Locks up Zeri under Tara, and while Zeri does press cleanse, Vi flash Qs and just kills off the carry. Now there's not enough damage left on Stixay, who gets a reset because she assisted on the kill to the Ruler, and now blasts forward onto the Lulu. No polymorph left because it's just been used, and Wukong now is locked up on the tower. Just takes so much damage. Nave's like, I want to at least get a kill back. So he comes out the brush, goes directly onto Huhi, who just remounts in his face, locks him up, and Stixay gets the kill. Honestly, very clean from both sides of Golden Guardians. But what's important to note is summoners are down across the rift. Stixay no longer has a flash as Zeri's caught. Q3 not going to be popped here. Licorice, though, just does work into the face of the ADC. Na's gone cool. That's an interesting pickup. Because it reminds me of the Kennen builds that we've been seeing. And Kennen with, well, Na with that item does tend to make me think that 369 probably going to go for a bit more of a damage build. Go for something like a Divine Sundrum, as he probably could get away with that, in all honesty. The amount of bulk that Na normally gets in Mega Form, a bit of extra damage could not hurt when you're trying to trade into the enemy team. River gets onto the Drake. Isn't going to be in vision. But the Golden Guardians have firm control of this area. No contest going to come out from JDG. Similar to Game 1, there was no contest out from them for the first Drake. But they started to contest second, third, and fourth Drake of the game. So, yeah, I think JDG will definitely continue to try to make plays now, because Ruler we thought was very fed. He's ahead in CS right now, got quite a bit of turret plates into his back pocket, but the kills sit in favor of Stixay, and so he's able to kind of even up the matchup, as a lot of differences are going to come through. Now, what I will say is Ruler has finally completed his cull, got a nice juicy 300 gold from that. And so he should be able to pick up his first big item on reset, which, whenever that comes through, that's a night. Oh, that's a win expectation. I presume it's also the gold difference over time. Now, watching this game from this perspective, I'm starting to notice some big flaws in these drafts. As realistically speaking, that can happen if you're unfortunate. TSL. Essentially, mid lane feels very one-sided right now. Somehow Gory has kept up in CS, but it feels like the wave's always been pushed in on top of him as Zariel comes through. Damage comes through though from Golden Guardians' ADC. Just gonna get nothing from that other than an ulti, I guess. But Golden Guardians feel like you got engage, but they could go way too far into this JDG squad. And that's an issue because you kind of, if you chase through chokeholds and stuff, Nah is going to do work with that Wukong. Now, Harold's going to get dropped. Is going to crash. However, I don't know who got turret playing there. It may just be River who gets it. So, yeah, we watch this mid play. It's understandable what they want to do. Just lock up and kill the Zeri Knight on the tower. Well, before he gets the tower. But who he was shadowing to play, he's still not in it. And the rest of JDG that will even out the fight are already there. And when I say JDG that even out the fight, I mean this big fellow. Look at that stunning stud. He looks so handsome and pretty. But yeah, that thing will hurt. So he's already taken 1 shot, 2 shots, 3 shots, and the 3rd shot puts him in low enough health range for Knight to execute him off. Now you've got Gory being slammed up and knocked up by the wild growth, just gets deleted, and it's just a great response from JDG for matching where Golden Guardians are on the map. Gnarl can get thrown out. The great thing about Gnarl is it's on such a low cooldown as looks like a penis that go grab. So yeah. Golden Guardians in a good situation if they go for the right target. Now, I could honestly see them panning up to 369 and targeting him out for a fight. Wait for him to use his Meganar or the bar of it, get charged up. And that is something that's coming up right now. He is going to go Mega very soon. Cassante has just gotten a reset. Wait, Cassante is in bot lane. Who's going up top? So Gory has gone up top. I would have thought that Licorice would have stayed there, but, you know, what do I know? Anyway, Harold goes over to Golden Guardians. They're going to definitely try to crash that into top, because Gory stayed up here. Licorice, obviously, getting the kill onto 369 allowed him to gain push in top side for a while, and they're able to secure the first tower of the game off this play. They're going to get the second charge, hopefully, from this. And bot side, still half a HP bar on that tower, as this is what I wanted to see. 369 punished in mini, going to get taken out as Missing is there to stand and watch him burn. It's just a good old play from Golden Guardians. It's expected, but here's the re-engage, because they knew it was coming. The re-engage, though, from Golden Guardians is clean. They catch out Canave. The rocket blasting forward Zeri moment is not going to be a thing, as Stixay is popping off. What a play. Yeah. So yeah, it's expected the Golden Guardians are going to try and punish 369 when he's out of Mega. That's a standard. And when you rotate your mid laner up to top for that play, you very much know Golden Guardians want to fight. The fact, though, they get another 2 kills on top of it just is clean. This is a great play from Huhi and River, teaming up together with the E of the Rel and the ultimate from the Vi to lock up a target for long enough so that the other members of Golden Guardians can get in and kill. This is Golden Guardians trying to buy time. Triss forces Wukong out the fight. Now that the ultimate from Wukong cannot be put back on, he just gets bursted out. And then it's just immediate stick save damage to kill off the Zeri. And that reaction is huge. You gotta admit, Huhi has had such a big glow up in, like, the past 3-4 years. When he got on the 100 Thieves roster, he has been phenomenal. And now here on Golden Guardians, once again, he does so much for this team. He is, without a doubt, such a good support, considering it's not his position he was known for being a pro for such a long time. He was CLG's mid laner. He was the guy that came in to fill in Hotshot GG spot. Like, considering the fact that CLG could not maintain a mid laner after Hotshot basically transitioned out of mid, it basically became Huhi as one of the only people to come into that squad to fill the spot. Here, All Out takes Wukong into a bad situation, gonna force him over the wall. Basically, it's a trade of ults. And Golden Guardian, this game is interesting. We were saying that teams from the West don't know how to play side lanes or make pressure on the other side of the map when one side is being harassed heavily. This game, we're seeing it from the Golden Guardians. They use the pressure that's being put down onto Licorice to have Gory push bot, to secure the bot lane tier 1. And it's clean because it's being watched by 2 members of the Golden Guardians in the Rel. Triss is also coming down to kind of support. What's more, the vision control this game is so much better than what I've seen from a Western team in all these series. You're controlling here, one entranceway. You're controlling this area so he can't come behind you and flank. Essentially, if anyone wanted to kill Gory in that situation, it had to have been a head-on move. Because there was no way to get to him without him seeing. It's a simple thing. And I like this from the Golden Guardians because they're being proactive. And this is something we said about them as a team coming into this game in particular. I feel they have probably one of the best Western styles in this tournament. And very easily could beat C9. Because I'm spoiling it now. C9 versus Golden Guardians is basically regions facing off against one another. That needs to be a storyline somehow. But Odo screwed us. He's screwed every region. It's such a big storyline because second seeds or first seeds aren't going to exist anymore. There's only going to be one representative from each region. And we need to predict that. Let's be honest, we've got 4 best of 5s to predict. As that begins tomorrow, actually, as well. Yeah, we'll do that after this game in Predictum. Anyway, here we go. Surprisingly, these games are looking close. Vi is chasing. They're gonna catch out missing. Good blast cone use there. Everyone's here, but Golden Guardians are grouped up, but Stixay's finally here. Gory's gonna die. Zeri is way too fed. Nah, though. They've got him.
They cannot survive for JDG, and Golden Guardians just killed everybody. You beautiful bastards, you're Golden Guardians taking down JDG, looking for the dragon here. Gonna be able to try to.
This is weird. I would have thought they'd go for Baron, but Wukong is alive. It's just River getting on top of missing, and the TPs come through. The Realm Magnet Storm does work, but this bit here, the clump up from Golden Guardians really scares me because Zeri is free firing into them. But TPs come through. Look at all the damage being put down onto the Golden Guardians here. You really think they're going to lose this fight? I certainly did, especially, you just see Ruler there. But these TPs coming through, they burst out Kanave. He's dead. TP comes through by both mid laners, I believe. Or mid and top. But Lissandra gets on top of two, rooting them in a pretty bad situation if you're JDG. She's probably got a self-ult. There you go. Just look how much zoning Lissandra is doing. Gory played this fight so well. Ruler's unable to get in onto these health bars. Same with 369. He's unable to charge that Gnar bar because Gory is keeping him out. Now, Gory gets out. He has to flash away. He also uses stop status there to kind of hopefully build up his glacial path cooldown. But Licorice has his Q3 ready. Gets it as LeBlanc distorts forward. Then, clap. All out. And basically, Licorice is hard punishing Knight here. This is such a good fight if you analyze each step. Each player is performing well here in this fight from EG. Gory played the initial part very well. He just zoned out the carries and then died for it. But because he died, he was forcing LeBlanc into him. Licorice then gets to punish the dive forward. And it does a lot of damage, but Huhi is covering the distort back. He's covering it with the crash down. And now Vi gets the immediate lockup. This is just clean. As now 369 Mega's out barely, but this is so clean. Golden Guardians played that fight immaculately.
Huhi is the MVP of Golden Guardians here in this game too. His decision making, his patience, his engages have defined these fights. These fights that when you look at them, you're scared thinking it's JDG team fighting. Yeah. They look like they are about to smash this, and then no. Huhi's ready, the Rel is ready. Golden Guardians now with a 4,000 golden.
And while Golden Guardians are playing a beautiful game here, there's still a lot of work to be done before you can close this one out. You know, JDG those immaculate team fighters. If you give them an inch, they will take a mile. If you mis-execute in one of these fights, they are going to blow you up. They are going to take down the Baron, and all of a sudden the shoe is going to be on the other foot. So Golden Guardians need to maintain this clean play, and they're going to start up this Baron here, who he dismounted, so he could potentially look for a W flash turn.
369 as well, just went Mega Gnar. So even with the TP, he'll be Mini Gnar for this. It's actually a great call from Golden Guardians.
Golden Guardians do not want to risk a 50-50. They don't want to take this any lower. They just wanted to get JDG's attention and see if they can force anything out.
Yeah, they watch.
I'm looking at the item disparity in the bot lane right now.
Barons has not gone well for the LCS or the LECs. Like I said,
2 items on Stixay versus Ruler
The devil on the shoulder
on 1.
there for a second, but this is where I think, again, as you say, I think they did get a little bit of
Golden Guardians could, honestly,
if you'd actually managed to get like
look to
Inferno or something, yeah, it would have been fantastic. But
burn a Baron.
now Golden Guardians at least getting control over the side lanes, making sure that they're in a decent spot where as long as you can
Top lane tier 1's gonna fall.
keep pushing the waves in on top side, start to
Because Knight's here, ready to just kill out Gory. In fact, a lot of JDG are here for that. I'm gonna realize they've been spotted out.
Topside here as Kanavi and Missing try to clear out some of the vision placed down by the Golden Guardians in this top side of the map around this Baron pit. They want to make sure that at least Golden Guardians have to clear out some JDG boards before they can start this up again. You can see that the two top laners are on the other side of the map right now. Missing has
They've
been
caught the
spotted.
Lulu.
Wild growth to disengage the
Use Shirelia's, but he's dead. He's used a lot there missing. To re-engage Wukong. Wukong's caught the Trist.
A beautiful crushing blow from Kanavi, and Golden Guardians have overplayed their hand. Ruler and Kanavi work together and shut down the Tristana.
Kanavi was so sneaky.
Great
Waits
play
baits out. Missy says, look, you're gonna die for a good cause.
from JDG there.
Turnaround. The
You
kill
catch out
and JDG now
Stixay
much needed goal back.
and that's a massive shot.
with a bit of over-aggression. I think Golden Guardians, don't get me wrong, are playing with confidence. But it seems a little overconfident at this point in the game. I think that kill will kind of bring them back down to earth. But it's surprising, to say the least, that it went through. So yeah, it's hard chase onto Missing. You use quite a bit of engage tools, but I think the pathing from Stixay is way too greedy considering you have no vision. It was very greedy, actually, if you think about it. You got no vision on Golden Guardians' side, well, in that river if you're Golden Guardians. So you're just basically giving over a free kill for nothing.
But now Golden Guardians have to make sure they're not giving away any more situations like that. 30 seconds till our next.
Ruler now is on 2 items.
For Golden Guardians, though, is the Ruler has no flash. Gory does. The amount of follow-up he can get on towards this area is going to be so
Nah could be caught out here,
Stixay doesn't have his own, but I think the fact you have that
but he is in Mega, so not going to be threatened.
having the push on waves, having control over this top side, it's going to make things a little uncomfortable for
He is being threatened. Who he's just watching. Stixay's there. Oh, I was so hyped for him to go in. It was looking so much like an engage. But I think Stixay got spotted on a ward. Returning down there. JDG are burning through it. They've caught out Knight. Rel is coming. She's not there. Stixay is being taken low. The re-engage, though, is that's a shutdown for Ruler. Double kill. Oh, God. Jungle is down. There's no contest for Golden Guardians on this Baron. This is how JDG get back into this.
over this bot lane push that they thought might come through from Stixay, but I might even go for Dragon here. You see the pings on towards Knight.
Though, and he has no health. 6A's got to run.
Yeah, look at the Dragon. It's a, I mean, yeah, immediately he jumps away. So Stixay not in the best spots. Liquor just trying to see if he can hunt down Knight, but big win for JDG.
Yeah, absolutely. And just like that, the game is way back into JDG's favor, and Golden Guardians significantly on the back foot. You know, they thought they had this catch on a
Bloodthirster picked up by Stixay.
He has so much tenacity. The lockdown is not going to last long. And Stixay was
This is so aggressive from Knight.
And then all of a sudden he's put in this really awkward spot. They feel like they have a catch, they get the cue, they get
They
the
do a lot of damage,
with the Lissandra ulti. Knight gets
but
the Lulu ult, just pulls back, and then look at where 6A is. He's in this really awkward spot. He has no
Vi just is jumping into 4. That's your jungler if you're going Guardians. You didn't have all your team there. Yeah, that was a misplay, if anything, from GG. Shrelia's popped.
369's going after him, but they cannot stick to the Lissandra enough.
He can go for a big flank because they've caught out Gory. Gonna pop the ult down. Wukong gets the Drake. But he is getting taken low. Zeri moment. They're gonna be able to pick up the kill on Stixay. It's Zeri moment in it. It's a Zeri moment. Now JDG get to crack open turrets. It's just 2 bad fights in a row from Golden Guardians have swung the game. That gold lead is nothing due to 2 fights. It's insane. Because once you give a team from the East the lead, it feels like the game's over. And early game has been really good from the West. I'm saying the West in terms of every series so far has been East versus West. This series just has been Golden Guardians winning out early, but then just fumbling one fight, and the rest of the game just becomes out of hand. Ruler just is able to dash around, get the wild growth into him, and he's just able to survive through all of it. Now Ruler has 3 items. He's got himself more items than Stixay, thanks to that. Licorice dead. That's a TP also coming out from Gory into the bot lane. Pretty bad spot to say the least, but he's trying to stop members from going JDG from getting into this, but he is sacrificing himself. Golden Guardians are way too split up. And Ruler, he wants blood. Wow. That's game. Never, they need a wave. They've finally got a wave. Ruler's gonna clean this up. Bloodthirster to top his health bar up. Yeah. TSI. In Nexus turrets are falling. JDG just turned the game up so quick after one fight. Let's go match point. GOL, baby. Because I am not gonna break that. Don't know when I watched that. Weird, because I didn't. Oh, let's go for not a LOL Esports. Let's go to LOL Esports Tournaments, or GOL. MSI, you are here for me. Somehow. I'm gonna be pretty shocked. So, match list. We want to go to this one. JDG GG. Game 3. Let's look at draft. JDG didn't make a ban. What? So, that's a Rengar. That's a Galio. It looks like just a hotbox comp from Golden Guardians. They've got a weird comp, to say the least. Into Bulk from JDG. They've got a lot of engage. You got Rakan Nort. It's gruesome. I think 13 minutes was when the game got out of hand. Probably one fight around a Drake. It was first turret, never mind. First turret clearly looks like it got snowballed heavily into a win. Wow. Jungle did so much work that game. Yeah, I don't think Rengar worked. That looks like a bit of a yikes game, to say the least. So, let's look at timeline. That's probably Rengar. No, Rengar's there. He almost had the same amount of gold as the support. That's unfortunate. So, Rengar isn't a good pick in meta and in pro play as a whole because he's so reliant on brush. It feels so bad. What was Soul anyway this game? Not Mountain, not Hex. It's Infernal. Oh. Probably the worst Drake if you're a Rengar because there's less brush. That feels bad, to say the least. Oh, God. Wait, it's Kha'Zix versus Rengar. It's that age-old matchup where if basically Rengar wins out the hunt, thrill of the hunt, then he gets an extra bone tooth stack. Whereas Kha'Zix gets his extra Evo. I'm not gonna lie. JDG won based on that. Rengar unable to do anything. Versus a Kha'Zix. Yeah. Feels like a bit of a diffie, to say the least, in the jiffy. Just gonna see if there was any big plays. Nope. Let's have a look at builds. Did ADC start cool? You started cool. I know Licorice started cool. Presumably, Rula went cool. Yeah. 18 sites. 13. That seems low. Yeah. These stats somehow appear low to me. Who would have Conquered? No one would. On their side. No. Anyway, I'm intrigued in some regards as to how it happened. Also starting W on Jinx. Xayah. Never mind. What did Max Q? Yeah, that makes sense. Anyway, that series very weird. It was close and a worrying sign for the LPL because I expected some closeness. We've got 2 series tomorrow. I'm probably looking to split them up onto Monday, if need be. Move that there. Close that. Let's get the prediction in, though, to my thing. I also wrote in here G2 ban Lee Sin. Because Mad played it so much. That's not the first series though. We got T1 versus Gen G, the LCK facing off against one another. Let's lock this prediction in. Who was I more impressed with after their series? G2 series, Mad. This is a hard one. So, my predictions are difficult for the LCK and the LPL games. The LCS ones and the LEC seem very easy to me to predict. This one, though. If I'm thinking it's hard to predict, it's going to be close. That's the mindset on the prediction. 3-2 to T1. That's where we're going. I don't know. I wasn't overly excited about Gen G in their series against G2. It felt G2 basically threw away leads, similarly though to what Mad did in some regards. But T1, like, didn't do too much with how Faker was. He was playing the supportive mid-engage or defensive picks. And then in the last game, he played Ari and just smurfed. That's basically it. T1 and Gen G, though, are at a different level. You have to say to the LEC after them series. But LEC get to face off. We get a rematch from Winter. Oh boy. My prediction's a G2 win. Excuse me. I think G2. I have better drafts in this tournament than what Mad had in that series. Excuse me. Mad as a whole, I don't know their approach to this tournament and how they get through drafts. Because realistically speaking, I would have thought they'd come with more creativity than they did. And they kind of got brushed to one side because none of the LEC teams learnt to ban Aphelios quickly against the big carries of Gumayushi and what's his name? I forgot it. Rocky? Is it? I don't remember JDG's ADC. I'm gonna look like an utter tool for looking for it. Pays, of course, pays, because it pays to win. And he was paying for basically G2 to int. But yeah, I think G2 just have slightly better understanding of how MSI has played out. And it honestly looked decent. JDG, BLG. Oh boy. Oh mama. This is a hard one to predict because we've seen a lot of BLG. The 3 series now we've watched their games and they went up against NA, don't get me wrong. And They're the only second seed to beat. Actually, that's a lie. But the second seed beat the first seed. With BLG, I still feel they're quite weak comparative to the T1s and Gen Gs. But again, I also feel the same thing about JDG. I feel how the LPL have played so far this tourney isn't an upper echelon. So I'm going to go 3-1 JDG. No reason for it, but I just think that LPL probably will get crushed in the finals. Finally, Golden Guardians C9 NA Finals rematch. Oh, God. I, for some reason, decided to develop a code at this point in time. 3-2. GG. For some reason, the second seeds just appear to be better than the first seeds from the regions. I wasn't impressed by Mad. They don't seem like a solid team at the moment. And I'm not going to go into all the drama surrounding how things have been in the back side of the tourney. But how dare they be happy after a loss? It's like they're selling out or something. Don't know where that came from. JDG did 3-0 him. Give me the mark. Satch. So yeah, I think very much we're going to see a clean win for all these teams. And I guess we'll round it out here. Thanks very much for joining me. If you've enjoyed it, leave a like down below. I'll see you tomorrow.